Easter is observed all over the world with all kinds of treats. Here in the States, I got these delectable caramel eggs from 7-Eleven. I picked up this Italian-German Kinder egg from a bodega, and from some guy on the street, I got this traditional Italian Easter bread with 2 actual eggs baked right into the basket. This made it very convenient to carry everything home. Anyway, Easter is big business.
Easter is certainly a popular holiday for many consumers.
That woman is with the National Retail Federation, which expects consumer spending in the U.S. to reach $22.4 billion this Easter. That's lower than 2023's $24 billion Easter, but Easter came 9 days later last year. As usual, you can blame the damn moon for that. As noted by our nation's military, Easter is always the first Sunday after the first full moon on or after the vernal equinox, aka spring. As noted by the Old Farmer's Almanac, the first day of spring began March 19th at 11:06 p.m. Eastern Time, and the first full moon was Monday the 25th. So boom, Easter, March 31st. Anyway, America's collective Easter basket is about to overflow with more than $22 billion worth of goods. That National Retail Federation survey says the average American plans to spend $177 on Easter this year, with candy, food, and gifts among the top purchases. They expect spending on candy alone to reach $3.1 billion. And while dentists will likely be pleased by all that potential, there's one rotten egg inside that basket full of candy that's a bit of a holiday sneer: cocoa prices.
So if you compare it from last year and the year before, it's much different. Much different.
That's the owner of a chocolate shop in the UK, who highlights that high cocoa prices are driving up the price of chocolatey goods all over the world.
So since 2020, the prices of the cocoa has gone up, and therefore it's affecting us. And normally I do order from Belgium like 200-300 kilos every time. So by the total will be a bit high prices, but we are challenging that to give a very good quality to our customer and not take the price up.
Now, cocoa prices aren't just going up because the supply of Timothy Chalamet statues are exceeding demand. According to the Associated Press, around 3/4 of the world's cocoa beans are produced in West Africa. Cacao trees only grow in places close to the equator, and farmers are enduring all sorts of troublesome conditions that are facing their crops. Namely, a fungal disease, a virus, and extreme weather. Here's a climate science lecturer with Imperial College London.
The parts of the world where really a vast amount of the chocolate that we consume comes from, and they had extremely heavy rainfall late last year, and now this very early, very unseasonal heat wave that damaged the crops even further, and that means that there is just a lot less cacao to go around this year, which of course has a huge impact on prices.
Take a look at this chart. That's just a glance at the past year's worth of cocoa prices. That bird is probably going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because he's struggling with the sticker shock. Kind of like that UK shop owner's fears about her own customers.
Although, because my customers are very local, so they know all the prices, like they know it by their heart. So I can't put the price up, probably very little, because I want them to be happy and to be faithful to them. By the end, it's just affecting the shop.
And it's not just that shop either. Here's a chocolatier, also out of London, who relies on cocoa from the Ivory Coast in West Africa.
The cocoa that we get from them has dropped by 1/3 of what they can supply. And also that means that their price has doubled.
If we don't stop burning fossil fuels now and also invest actually in an adaptation and making cocoa plantations more resilient to deal with these extreme heats, the price of cocoa will increase, and cacao chocolate will become much more of a luxury product.
People often overlook the fact that chocolate was considered sacred by almost every single culture it touched for thousands of years. Notes Toac Chocolate. The company that admits on its own blog routinely charges over $300 for a single bar of chocolate, the most expensive in the world. Not everyone is comfortable with pre-ordering a chocolate bar that costs more than a 10th generation iPad. But if cocoa prices remain stubbornly high thanks to the impacts of climate change, notes our lecturer, you might have to start squirreling away some of your Hershey's Kisses for someone truly worthy of your love.
I think you really have to save your chocolate a bit more, because chocolate will become more expensive. Because even if we stop burning fossil fuels immediately, these impacts are already there.
Now sure, in the UK, there may be people accustomed to rationing Easter chocolate, like the lady we just told you about at the News Refresh on YouTube, please subscribe, who kept and didn't eat a Mary Mary Quite Contrary chocolate egg for the duration of World War II and also the duration for the rest of her life. But hoarding chocolate for 80-something years isn't exactly a winning strategy for most chocolate businesses. Back at this shop, the owner said she had to let go of 2 of her employees and hopes that Easter and Christmas sales will help her stay afloat.
I'm just pushing the pressure on myself to just make a balance for the difference between the prices. I hope I can last for a very long time here because I love this shop and I don't want to leave it.
A scenario like that may sound more unfortunate than Mr. Wonka's botched chocolate experience from a few weeks back in Scotland, but it's not just the sheer cost of cocoa that could require the shattering of a pig bank to shatter a chocolate bunny. As noted by the AP, Big Chocolate has enjoyed year-over-year increases in their net profit margins. Put another way, Mr. Goodbar seems to be doing quite well for himself. But hey, Easter isn't just about chocolate. It's about religion, rabbits distributing eggs, and time with family spent on family things, notes our National Retail Federation woman.
They're planning lots of special meals, picking up cards, as well as gifts to share with loved ones.
In particular, it's the targeting of hidden chicken containers that's one of the biggest activities for the holiday.
We do see that over half of households with children are planning an Easter egg hunt at home this year. That goes up to almost 60% if you have a child under 10.
Thanks to high cocoa prices, hunting for hollowed-out plastic eggs filled with chocolate treats may be a more expensive endeavor this year, but cracking into a real egg isn't going to be much better. Data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics found that the price for a dozen large eggs in February was $2.99, almost 50 cents higher than the $2.52 price back in January. That's thanks to a spike in bird flu cases, which affected some 82 million birds, as well as a high demand for eggs themselves this time of year. Now, in case expensive chocolate and expensive eggs are out of your budget, you could always check out this butcher shop in Jacksonville and get yourself a 2-pound whole rabbit for $20, $10 off its regular price. And if you're worried about what happened to that poor little bunny, come on, it's Easter. Just keep it in your fridge for a few days and see what happens.